let's talk about makers though.
Oh yeah.
I'm actually one of the biggest fans of makers though.
Yeah, I love that.
I love the initiative. I love what Zach and the team are doing, as with Kerr and everybody. I think it has so much potential. This is Makers Up. I'm a huge fan for several reasons. Number one, because I believe in the people who are doing it. Like I think Zachary has a lot of potential. I think Kerr has a lot of potential too. I think uh, uh, Party Value is also has a lot of potential. I mean, the guy literally built a product without the streaming in 10 minutes. um, Number two, because the reporting is so good. They've been constantly pushing out content and high quality content. The live stream, when they were covering the live streams, they were pushing out tweets and tweets and tweets and tweets. Number three, because I think the maker movement is growing so fast that it warrants a news source.
Yeah, it's hard to keep up with everything.
Exactly, it warrants a news source. And something like TechCrunch for the maker world would be insanely beneficial for everybody. Now the news aren't constrained to whatever, say, a bigger figure tweets. Or retweets, right?
Yeah.
And you get rid of those biases, right? Those biases that these bigger figures bring to the community. I'm not mentioning names, right?
Yeah.
And you have an unbiased news source, Makers Up, right?
Yeah, like there's not really anything that they can be biased about, to be honest. Like
exactly. Instead of like, and now the community has a news source that's unbiased.
Yeah.
Reports does really good reporting because on Twitter they've been doing good reporting. You know.
Yeah.
It's killer. It's awesome. That's great. That's what the community needs. We need this. This is awesome. And the third or fourth, I don't remember. I think it was third. The third reason that I'm a huge fan of it is because I believe in, it's the same as before. I believe in the end goal in general.
Yeah.
And I think it will unite the community so much.
Yeah. Like, from what I've seen of it, it's been really great. And I think it'll also, like, help smaller makers get discovered. Because,
absolutely.
I feel like we're on this conveyor belt. Like we start off as smaller makers, and we slowly get bigger, and then new people come along, and we're just kind of all growing up. So I think, like, they can help with the people down the bottom who, like, you know, who are new to the community and don't have a good following yet. And,
of course,
yeah,
absolutely. I think so. I think that the community really needs this.
Yeah.
And they've been growing so rapidly.
Yeah, like they've got a lot of followers already.
Dude, they launched like a few weeks ago. They already have like 500 or something. That's crazy! That's crazy! That's absolutely insane!
Yeah, it took me like 3 months to get there.
Exactly. That's insane. That's amazing. And that shows one thing. That there's a demand for this. That people want this. That people want these news. People want to stay informed on what the maker community is doing. And a good thing about this is that, for example, if it keeps on growing, I see it becoming an alternative to product hunt. If you think about it.
That's an interesting thought.
If you think about it, vision-wise, Product Hunt has kind of a stranglehold on launching, right? On launching, on the process, and they're trying to get a stranglehold on the maker community too, with PH makers, right? Stranglehold is kind of like a very harsh word, I'd call it more like
like
they're dominating.
They're doing like bad things, but like
No, they're not doing bad things.
Like the biggest thing.
I'm not implying that they're doing bad things. I'm trying to say that Product Hunt dominates product launch. They're trying to dominate the makers community, and I feel that they need more competition in that aspect. If you understand. And here comes Makersoft, right? That could potentially be a news source, a voice for the makers community, right?
Yeah.
And if it gets big enough, it'll extend outside of the makers community.
Yeah, that probably is like awesome. Like, because I mean, like getting press for your product is hard.
Exactly. Boom. Bingo. Bingo, Ethan. That's exactly it.
Like if Makersoft is like going to, like for example, I don't know when it went ahead and stuff. So like when for the 24-hour startup, like Pat and people were considering like taking it to like TechCrunch and getting like coverage on some of these bigger sites. Then that like kind of just like, okay, well I don't have to go get press. It's like 24-hour startup will get press and then like probably some of them will see me. So like if Makersoft, like finds the best like users per month or something, let's say, and like goes and like holding out the bigger news sources for you, then like that's good for them because like they're getting free promotion from like big news sources, and it's also good for makers because then like all your stuff ends up on like occasionally ends up on like TechCrunch or like any of those websites or wherever it is.
I don't think it's more in that sense of like them emailing other press source instead of them becoming the press source. If you think about it,
like definitely within the maker community, yes. But I'm saying like when it starts like getting out of the maker community, and like that becomes something which brings people into the maker community. Yeah,
I think that Makersoft has this potential to become the voice of the indie maker community. And potentially even challenge Product Hunt when it comes to launch. Imagine an indie maker that wants to launch his product, a tiny indie maker, made a really cool product. This indie maker has the potential to be reported by on, let's say Makersoft is the tech crunch for makers, right? And for indie products, right? And instead of going to Product Hunt to launch and get a million upvotes and all that exposure, let's say Makersoft writes an article about this product, and it garners that attention. And since Makersoft at this point would have reach outside of the the community, TechCrunch picks up on it. Everybody picks up on it. Wired writes an article about it. It has this massive potential to unite the community and become what is the voice of the indie maker community. And I think that is it could be huge. It could be huge. It will help small up and coming makers. It will help small up and coming products. It will report on news from everybody in the community in general. And at least that's what I think. That's where I think the potential lies. To just become a voice for the community and unify the community in a way, and also legitimize the movement in a way.
Yeah. I'm actually interested to see how it plays with and Law's thing, like that like when we make a magazine thing. Like the way I see it, like I mean, like who knows, maybe later they'll combine or something.
Right.
But the way I see it for the moment is like the Makersoft is kind of the news, so that's where like you kind of find like new things and like new. I'm just repeating myself, but like it happened lately, like live almost. Like this person launched this yesterday, kind of like what's up. And then I see like Adam's thing as as being kind of more of like the magazine, which isn't really focused on news, but it's just focused on content that indie makers like find interesting. So like like for example, the DM we got sent about like products for other makers, like that's not really news. It's not like Sergio just launched a product for makers, or he can just launch Make It a Rock. It's kind of like, okay, here's like a source that I can go to find like interesting opinions and interesting content. So I think like potentially like they could work well together.
Yeah.
Like one doing more of a news thing.
Yeah, I don't see it as a competitive relationship.
Yeah.
I could even see it as working together. Like for example, Maker Log in the kitchen.
Yeah.
You know.
Yeah, definitely.
I definitely see it in that angle, right? Where, as you say, yeah, the magazine would be more of like higher quality content, like for example, interviews. And it could be, say, just targeted content for makers, right?
Mm-hmm.
And the news and Makers Up would just be the news. You know, what's happening, what's breaking, what people are launching.
Yeah.
You know? There's a lot of potential in this area, and it's an area that a lot of people are trying to touch. I've seen a lot of maker channels pop up, some acquired by Makers Up, and I'm rooting for any of them, all of them, really. But I'm mostly rooting for Makers Up because what they're doing is has a lot of potential. A lot of potential.
Yeah.
I'm rooting for Makers Up a lot. I hope it succeeds. I'm a huge fan of Zachary. I've seen Zachary's work. The guy is a remarkable maker. Just hope it grows. We need this. We really do need this.
Yeah. The other thing, like, that's good about it is, like, apparently Makeup has come back from the dead now, which is cool. But like with that, it's like one person. You don't really know what happened. Maybe he lost interest. Maybe there was like something else going on.
Yeah.
Like you don't really know what's going on. But with Makers Up, it's got like few people doing it. So I think Zachary is kind of leading it. I think. But like even if Zachary just went away and decided I never want to touch the internet again, like it could still keep going. Which I think is good.
Yeah, it's a solid project essentially. It's solid.